Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel Book Talks with Yo. My name is Yoanna and today I'm sharing some tips with you for finding your writer's voice. You've probably heard the phrase writer's voice so many times that it started to sound cliche to you. However, there are a lot of people that actually don't know what it really means and are using it as a synonym of point of view or something like this. So today I decided to share with you some tips for finding your unique writer's voice. But before we do that, let's just clarify what a writer's voice is and what it is not. This is not your structure or your writing technique, it's much more than that. Yes, it consists of your word choice, of your structure, of your grammar, but it is also your personality, your experience with the world, your view on things, and how you translate those views on the page. This is your tone, your opinion about different things, your feelings, and just much more. As a literary agent, Rachel Gardner says, your writer's voice is the expression of you on the page. And I feel like this is very accurate because your writer's voice is something highly personal and unique to you, because this is basically your personality and your experience with the world, and it is uniquely yours. However, it is something that can change and that can evolve and that can be improved and change gradually. And if you feel like you haven't found your writer's voice, don't worry, because it is already inside of you. You just have to look for it and find it. And this is why I'm sharing those tips with you today. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. So my first tip is to be loyal and honest to yourself. Sounds obvious, right? I know, but still, when trying to find your writer's voice, it is easy to forget the most important part, which is that it has to be uniquely yours. As I said, it sounds obvious, but when we are trying to find the perfect writer's voice and we focus so much on that fact that it has to be the perfect one, that we forget that it is uniquely ours and it has to be inspired by us. There is no one-size-fits-all approach, there is no template you can use. It can't be copied, or you can't just get it from somewhere. You can't be told your writer's voice. It has to be inspired by you. So staying true and honest to yourself is your best bet. And the thing is that when you're honest to yourself, you are going to be honest to your readers as well, as you're going to be honest in your writing. And this is one of the ingredients that makes a good writer. But I also know that sometimes being true to yourself might be more difficult than it sounds. And there are some cases that we don't even know who we are or who we want to be. But don't worry, because the next few tips can help you with this as well. My next tip is somewhat of a little exercise that you can do to help you with finding your writer's voice. And it will also help you with understanding who you are, not only as a writer, but as a person as well, which, as we said, this will lead you to finding your writer's voice. And this is to write 5 adjectives. Just get a sheet of paper and write 5 adjectives that best describe you as a person. For example, impatient, or chatty, or calm, or impulsive, and so on. You get what I mean. And then write another 5 adjectives that describe you as a writer. For example, messy, or an improviser, or yeah, you get what I mean. If you want to take this further, you can even write a few, for example, 5 again. 5 phrases or words that describe your writing process, your writing style, your techniques, and just you as a writer overall, your overall writing process. And if you are more of a visual person, you can also make a mood board in Pinterest or in real life, whatever is your style. You can make a mood board of your writing process, of your writing style, and of you as a writer. And this will help you not only see what is unique to your writing process, but it may also inspire you a lot. And the second part of this little exercise is to ask someone else to do the same. Not the mood boards precisely, although if you have some friends with free time on their hands that are willing to do that, that's great, as this might be very useful. But what I mean is to ask a friend or a family member or a significant other. It doesn't matter. It just has to be someone that knows you. And ask them to write 5 adjectives that describe you as a person and 5 adjectives that describe you as a writer and describe your writing. Then compare the ones you have and the ones other people have, like the opinion other people have of you as a person and as a writer, and see what you get from that. My next advice is to establish your tone. The tone is one of the most important components of your writing and therefore is one of the most important components of your writer's voice. And you might have heard this a million times, but it is true, and this is that sometimes the way we say things is more important or revealing than the actual things we say. And this also applies to writing, and the way you show the things you say in writing is precisely by your tone. Your tone influences, it reveals your feelings, your views, your opinions, and it creates an overall atmosphere of the writing. And as well as that, it is also very, I would like to say, revealing for you as a person, and it is important for your overall branding as a writer, if you wish, as a whole, your whole appearance as a writer, and it shows how you see the world. And your tone might be very humorous or ironic, which is different. It might be very cheerful and optimistic, or rather pessimistic. It might be very personal or impersonal. It might be straightforward or slow-paced. You will figure out what it is for you. And the thing is that I know that the tone may vary depending on what you're writing, the genre you're writing, the content of your story, the idea that you want to convey, the character you've chosen as a focalizer, and so on. But it is generally good to know what your tone usually is and how your readers see your tone, as this may help you understand yourself as a writer a lot better. But again, how do you know your tone? How do you establish your tone? Well, the next tip will help you with this. And this is to experiment with different techniques and styles. I know that it is very tempting to stay inside of your comfort zone, to continue writing the genres and mediums you know, you're well aware of, and you feel like you're good at, or at least you know you're familiar enough with them to know what works and what doesn't work for you. But if you want to grow as a writer, it is key to experiment and get outside of this comfort zone, experiment with different styles, genres, audiences, mediums. This is the way you grow. And what I mean is, for example, if you're used to writing poetry, well, try writing a short story. Or if you're used to writing novels, maybe try writing a piece of creative nonfiction or a screenplay. Or if you're used to writing let's say YA contemporary, well, try writing a middle grade fantasy. Or maybe you're used to writing new adult romance stories, then try writing for example, YA fantasy, or you get what I mean. The further you push yourself out of your comfort zone, out of the familiar, the more you grow and the more you learn. And this is basically how you will spot what is unique to your tone and to your writer's voice. And this is just a very fun experiment to do and something that will help you grow as a writer in many, many aspects. And it is also a personal challenge I've given myself for this year to experiment with different mediums and different genres more, but this is a topic for another video. My next advice is another very obvious one, and this is to write. Simple enough, I know, straightforward, but it is what really will make you a better writer and will help you find your writer's voice. If you want to be better, just write, and write. As I said, simple enough. And it is true that practice makes perfect, and this also applies to writing as well. You can't expect to learn to play an instrument, for example, if you don't practice, or if you can't expect to be good at tennis if you don't play. And this is obviously the same for writing. So the more you write, the better you become, the more you learn, and the more you discover about yourself as a writer, about your writing, and thus about your unique writer's voice. So if you want to get better at this, if you want to find your writer's voice, just go and do that. Write. My next advice is to share your writing with others. Remember that little exercise that I mentioned at the beginning, and how you should ask other people to write a few adjectives that would describe you and your writing as well. This is because sometimes our opinion and our view of ourselves and our writing might be slightly different than that of other people. And it also applies in writing as well. You might see your tone and your writer's voice as one thing, but your readers might experience it in a slightly different way. So it is very useful to know how you come across at the page for the readers, to understand your writer's voice better and to see what you can change or what you can improve. And pretty much, if you want to learn, if you want to get better, and if you want to improve your writing, the best way to do that is to share your writing with others. And I know that it might feel very intimidating and scary to just give your baby out into the world and give it to other people and having to hear what they think about it, but this is the only way you can improve and you can see what is working and what is not working. So it is a very useful step. And you can start with something simple. For example, just share something you've written with your friends or your family or a significant other and ask them to tell you how this text is making them feel, what is their experience with it, and just ask them how you are coming across at the page as, like how do they experience your writing. And after you've gained some confidence from this, do the next step. Go outside of your comfort zone again and share your writing with someone else, someone who is not your friend or a family member, someone that doesn't have a personal relationship with you. That might be a beta reader or a writing group or even a professional editor. Again, I know how intimidating it sounds. It is scary, I'm scared as well, but it is what makes you a better writer. So yeah, it is an important step. You can't skip that step. And just remember to take the feedback not personally and not too emotionally. Don't react emotionally to it. It is practical criticism, constructive criticism that you can use to improve. My next advice is to describe your ideal reader. Having a general idea of your target audience and your ideal reader is a crucial thing to do for every step in the writing and publishing process, but it can also help you find your writer's voice before you even start writing seriously. And what you would like to do is just imagine that ideal reader that you have in your mind and describe him in full details. Make him like a character profile sheet. Just imagine they are a character from your story and just describe them in all the details you want. Are they young? Do they have a sense of humor? What is their lifestyle? What do they expect in books? And etc. Just talk about them as if they're a real person. And I know that you might have different ideal readers for the different genres or mediums you might be writing in, but try to think of what they would have in common and work with this. And then another little exercise you can do is just try and write something to your ideal reader as if they are a real person and you are addressing them. It doesn't have to be something long, just a short piece of writing. And try to spot what is usual for your voice and for your tone, for example. And in order to do that better and to actually spot what is uniquely yours, try and write a few of those short texts for different genres and different audiences and see what changes and what stays the same. And last but not least, my advice is to read a lot. I think there is no reason for me to remind you that in order to be a good writer, you have to be a voracious reader and read a lot. And this is useful for a lot of things. This will help you improve your word choice, your grammar, your style, your writing techniques. It may teach you a lot, it might inspire you, but as well as that, it can help you find your unique writer's voice. So read a lot, read as vast as you can, read as many books as you can, and read different books, read different genres, different audiences, read a lot. But don't only read books, try to reflect on them as well, and try to pinpoint different things that make those books unique and that make those books stand out. Try to see whether you can find and spot unique things for your favorite writers' voices. Do you see something that is typical for them, and do you see why this thing is working, or it might not be working? try to reflect on all those things, because sometimes seeing other people's writer's voice can help you find yours as well. As you know, people say that sometimes what we admire is what we aspire to be, so this might be a very useful exercise. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up today's video. I really hope you enjoyed watching, and if you did, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on my new videos. Please let me know down in the comments, do you think you found your writer's voice? Thank you once more for watching, and I really hope to see you all next time. Until then, have a smiley week. Bye!